One thing, Brooke. You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out. That's the plan. All right, people, on the running line. Fire me! Yeah! Fire me! Yeah! Get down the doors! Get on the running line!
Can you guys hear me? I just got a message that the mic was unplugged or something like that. Anybody in the chat there, let me know if you can hear me. Anybody? The sound went off on the trailer I was trying to show. Oh well, hopefully you guys can hear me. We'll proceed ahead. Welcome, 31 Days of Monsters, Day 9. Rob, let me know if you can hear me. Can hear you, but not the trailer. Okay, thanks, guys. I don't know what happened there. It's too bad. It's a pretty cool trailer. But here we are on Day 9 of 31 Days of Monsters, and we got a real ass kicker today. Aliens from 1986, James Cameron's follow-up sequel to Ridley Scott's classic horror 1979's Alien. It's hard to compare these two films because they're really two different films. One is based on claustrophobic terror and horror, and this one is an action-packed thrill ride. This is the first movie I remember walking out of the theaters and thinking to myself, wow, what did I just see? I mean, from beginning to end, it was just a roller coaster ride. And unlike a lot of James Cameron's films, this one aged well. This one's still good. Some of his movies tend to show the era very blatantly in which they were made. Some of the characterizations in here obviously seem a bit dated to me, but this is a great film. I love the military aspect of it and how they become impotent very quickly. You know, they're all badass and ready to go, and like a boxer who has a plan until he gets hit, and these guys get hit. And I love how Ripley steps up to the plate, but not forced in any way. It's not like, oh, you know, female Captain Marvel, she's the greatest, she's the strongest of everybody in the Marvel universe. No, this is just a woman who has just the will to survive and the smarts, and she takes control, and it's very organic, and it makes her one of the great action heroes out there. It really pissed me off when they made the sequel to this one, the third one, Aliens 3. Because it's like the director just decided he's going to piss on everything that went before. And everything good that happened in this movie is undone within the first 25 minutes of the third film. So I completely discount everything that happens after this movie in my mind. The same way I do that with comics too. When they jump the shark, I tend to think, oh, okay, this doesn't count. We're going back to the original stuff, and that's all that matters. So that's how I enjoy this film. It's got a great cast. Uh, Bill Paxton steals the show, with his when he goes off the rails. Um, uh, uh, Michael Biehn, uh, coming off of the Terminator, is great in this as Hicks. Sigourney Weaver is awesome. Um, uh, the effects and the aliens, you actually get to see more of them in this one than you do in the first one. Most of the alien was hidden in the first one, and here they're running around. There's thousands of them, and they're running around. There's the Queen, the sequence with the Queen, where Sigourney Weaver is, female on female with this queen, and she goes, "Get away from her, you bitch." It was just one of those amazing lines, that really got you going. Uh, I can't say enough about this film because I watch it all the time, probably more than Alien, and I can't say which one I like better because, as I said earlier, this is really two different kinds of films. Um, one of the things with Ridley Scott, which one of my criticisms of his is he makes great films about characters you don't like or you don't care about. And that's a problem for me. I have to care, particularly if it's an action or a horror film. I have to care about somebody so that their deaths mean something. And outside of Ripley, I didn't really care for uh, any characters in his movies. Um, in this one, Cameron does a good job of making us care about all of them. I mean, sure, uh, nobody likes the Paul Reiser character. He's just kind of a little weasel, but he gets his. He gets his in the end. Uh, my biggest critique of this or criticism of this movie is Newt. Uh, that scream of hers is just like I think dogs run away from miles when people watch this movie. It's just I don't know if they enhanced it or if it's a sound effect or whatever, but that scream is just annoying as hell. I can't stand it. Um, I watch and I own the special edition of this. And if you don't have it, I suggest this is the one you get, the special edition, because it restores a bunch of scenes that really make a lot of sense and really should have been in the original theatrical version. Um, I spoke I spoke about this a little bit on an earlier broadcast, probably on when we were kicking off 31 Days of Monsters, that Ripley, had been in space for 56, 57 years, and her daughter uh, lived a life and died. And she promised her when she went off on that first trip that she'd be back for her birthday, her 11th birthday. And obviously, she wasn't. And when she gets back to Earth, it's 57 years later, and her daughter has passed away, leaving no family. So you fast forward to when she gets to the colony and she bonds with Newt. It makes it much more personal to her. Is this little girl that she's got that doesn't have a mother, and she's a mother with no daughter, and how they bond together. I think makes her decisions more powerful. Her sacrifice is more powerful. And then there's the sequence where we're shown how the aliens actually get into the human colony, and it's Newt's parents that discover the spaceship, the same one that John Hurt had discovered in the first Aliens, and they come back. The father gets a face hugger on him, and we all know how that goes. Uh, so that explains how the aliens got in there. Uh, there's also some sequences where some of the Marines, the Space Marines that we see later on, are cocooned, um, and that wasn't in the theatrical trailer too. So there's a lot of really great stuff. It's a longer film, but it's a much better film. Um, so I suggest you get that version. Excuse me. But let's see who's here this morning. I know this is an odd time. Like I said, Sundays are, it's whenever I can pop on. I figure most of us like to sleep in a little bit more. You have obligations um, on Sundays. So, it's just, look for the notification, I guess. Let me see what we got next. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about *Malignant*, which is on HBO Max. Brand new movie, came out this year. And this, if this one is a roller coaster ride, *Malignant's* like a crazy fun house. It's off the rails, so that'll be a fun one if you haven't seen it. Killer Squid is here. Rob Fellows is here. Great quote, Rob. My mommy always said there were no monsters, no real ones, but there are. Good line from Newt. Man of War 665 is here. He says, "Hail, amigos." Ron J says he can hear me from Cape Brayton. Good, good. I don't know why that. I wonder if I got bounced, if they took the sound off because of a copyright thing. Oh well. I always challenge those, and 99% of the time I win them because I say it's for education and review, which is true. That's what we're talking about. We're reviewing the films. I'm talking about them. I'm promoting them. Warner Brothers is the only one that's a little dicey about that stuff. Hyper Kaiju is here. Ron J says Alien Trilogy, Scene 5 through 6. Not yet seen Prometheus. Prometheus is okay. Again, people you don't really care about, except the one character. Rob Fellows says there are 2 Alien movies, and this is one of them. I agree with that assessment. There are only 2 Alien movies. The rest are posers. Game over, man. Game over. This little girl survived without weapons or training longer than that. Why do we put her in charge, man? Yeah, Bill Paxton. He steals the show. Is Hudson. Tom Tuttle is here. Excellent, Tom. Paulus Arts. Now you got my attention, he says. Might be my favorite movie ever. We're going to agree to disagree on that. Paulus Arts. Unnecessary? Maybe. Informative? Yes. It paints a clearer picture of what's happening and what has happened. It gives you answers to questions. Do you need to know how the aliens got in there? Maybe not. Do you need to know why Ripley so quickly bonds with Newt? We can assume it's because it's just a mother's instinct, but I think that the added scenes add more gravitas to it. The 3-hour documentary with the special edition is well worth a watch. Yes, indeed. Bill Dunleavy is here. Hello, Bill. Brody Limbruggen. Oh my God, she's a badass. One of the best female characters in a movie ever. I agree. Anybody out there? I see some new names here, so if you haven't heard the pitch, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you'll get notifications when we go live for the 31 Days of Monsters and the Storytellers and any other things we're doing. Ligon Chase. Any tips on how you balance monthly comic work with commissions, Inktober, and social media? I know I need more discipline for sure, but it's hard to balance for myself. Any tips? Yeah, set a schedule. Wake up the same time every day and break down your day. You get this done between these hours, you get this done between these hours, you get this done between these hours. That's a great way to keep moving forward. I've pretty much ran my career like that. I wasn't one of these guys that slept all day and screwed around playing video games or watching movies, and then started late night working and then worked through the night type of things. I kept regular hours because I had children, a family, wife, all that fun stuff, and I like to live with the living. So I typically I wake up at 6 in the morning, have my breakfast, I go to the gym, come back, clean up, start my day, work till dinner time. After dinner, if I have more artwork to do because I didn't make those quotas, I go back and I do that. Since I'm no longer doing monthly books, for corporate comics, and I do my own stuff. Typically, evening times are set aside for promotional stuff and streaming, and that's um, how I break my days down. Horror Mike says I liked Aliens, but Aliens and Alien 3 did little to propel the alien mythos. Alien Resurrection added more illumination on the xenomorphs and their relations to humans. Well, I think Aliens definitely added more to it. Alien 3 subtracted from it because if they should have gone off a completely different direction for Aliens 3, it shouldn't have involved Ripley and Newt and Hicks. It shouldn't have involved them at all. They should have just let that storyline end and start fresh because, as I said, he just pissed all over those characters. Prometheus was supposed to be a masterpiece, but some suits decided to cut out the philosophical linchpin scene at the end. Said, I'd like to know what that was, Mr. Munoz. I don't know what that linchpin scene was. I hadn't heard about that. I just remember thinking I was disappointed with that film when it came out. So I'm curious what that was. Hey, Bob Singleton is here. Hello, Bob. Morning, Gray. I'm looking forward to backing Ghosts, but darn, did you have to do 2 amazing covers and get Kelly Jones to do a third? Yes. Yes, I did. Tom Tuttle's going to a dark place. He liked it because it was so bleak. Yeah, that's what I hated about it. Because, again, bleak is one thing, dark, if they did that movie on the prison planet, whatever, and did not have any of our characters in it from the previous film, I'd have been fine with it. It would have been, okay, here we go. We're going off in a new direction. This is kind of interesting, different. Root for the aliens on this one, mostly. But it was the addition of our beloved characters from the Ripley from the first 2, and then the characters we came to love in Aliens that they ruined. Ligon Chase says, awesome. Thanks, man. I love your work. Thank you. Big monster design. Yeah, Stan Winston did a great job on this one using the original designs and enhancing them. Richie Dupe is handing out bananas again. Thank you, Richie. H is for Heretic says he's late. You're never too late because this is you can always watch this later on. Paulus Art says, I hear that there's a cut of Alien 3 that makes it better. Never saw it though. What would make it better would be to cut out the first half an hour, remove Ripley from all of the scenes, digitally put in some other character. That's my cut. I love the Queen. I thought it was so cool how they made her move. Um, it seemed, as I said, it still holds up. This is 1986, and that's practical effects, like giant puppet type things. And when she gets up to the main spaceship and she chases Ripley into toward the elevator, and the door closes, and she's like, it's really cool. Really holds up. And I just love the um, protective mother battle between the two. You've got Ripley and Newt, and you've got the Queen and her eggs, and there's this unspoken communication between the two. And then the alien Queen nods off to the warriors to back off because she understands the fire and the eggs and all that kind of stuff. And Ripley backs it off and then says, "Fuck you." She doesn't say it, but she says it with her flamethrower and just torches the hell out of it. I just love that moment. It's so badass. So cool. Okay. Brian Suddenly Old is here. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, on the Croft Talks About Movies channel, a 15-minute video called Deleted Engineer Dialogue Fully Translated that goes into it. Okay. Doesn't really answer the question. I guess I'll have to watch that and see. Yes, the first Predator design was awful. Like the chameleon. Ugh, it's terrible. Well, it's like the first design for the creature from the Black Lagoon. Uh, More fishy and smooth and stuff, rather than the classic version that Millicent Patrick eventually developed and created. And sometimes the first designs are actually the better designs. The ones they choose are like, should have gone with that first one. An example is Bane's mask in Dark Knight Rises. That stupid face hugger mask, tying it into aliens here was terrible. They had a mask where that was on it, but it was still a mask over his head, and then you had the white, shape, the classic Bane mask, which they should have gone with. But I know it had to do with the exposure of the actor's face. You look at every one of these Marvel movies, all the actors have their faces, on the movie posters. And half the movies they have their masks off, so you can see the actors' faces. Uh, I want to see the heroes with their masks on. So, okay, gang. So here we are, day 9. 10 is going to be um, Malignant. If you haven't seen that, it's on HBO Max. I'm sure you can rent it anywhere if you don't have HBO Max. But yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. That is a crazy freaking movie. It's pretty cool. And I suggest you check it out before we talk about it because it'll be fun. So tomorrow is Monday. So we'll be at our usual time, 8 a.m., Monday through Fridays for this. Anybody here that has backed the Ghost of Matacumba Key, I thank you for that. We hit 48,000 last night. Picked up a bunch of backers. By yesterday, I was trying to get to 700 backers, and then overnight we got up to let's see, where are we here? 723 backers. We're at 48,180. So it was a good night last night. Thank you everybody who backed it. If you haven't and you're interested in checking it out, it's the link is in the description, and the link is also pinned at the top of the chat here. Oh wait, here we go. L.E. Munoz is going to expand a little bit. Well, to spoil it, the humans woke the engineers, thinking they were gods asking for the gift of immortality. But the engineer was in cryo because he was infected and waiting for a cure. It goes deeper. Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Man of War 665 says a guy who breathes through a crab. I know, right? And how does he eat like that? Well, you, me, and Chuck. And I like your Creature from the Black Lagoon head. That's cool. Hello, Ted. Good morning. How are things in New Jersey? Brian Suddenly Old says, day one backer got the glow-in-the-dark cover, regular cover, and the retro cover tee. Wow, that's awesome, Brian. Thank you so much. If only Graham could rip Bane away from the suits. Well, it might come a time when DC starts licensing these characters out. And you never know. Awesome, Ted. Okay, so there we are. We talked a little bit about the ghosts, and we're going to be talking about Malignant tomorrow. Thank you for spending your morning with me. Have a great Sunday. Go Bills. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.